G'day, Ben from Melbourne here, and today it's another Interviewing the Vinyl Community episode. This one's a little bit different though. I'm going to let you have a little peek behind the curtain of what goes on to set up these interviews. So this will also tell you what sort of bloke we're dealing with too. So leading up to this, I was contacted by this guest people with the following email. Just a few points from our lawyers prior to our client appearing. It is hereby stipulated that the host shall not utter any disparaging statements regarding Mr. V. Morrison or any of his artistic endeavours during the course of the interview. The host shall afford the interviewee reasonable latitude in responding to challenging or sensitive inquiries. I countered this by stating that my contract requires, by Australian YouTube law, that each video I present, there be at least one slur against Mr. V. Morrison's name, an allusion to a disparaging opinion about Mr. Morrison, his reputation that is, and also that there should only be blue M&Ms to be found in the green room. Any other colours and the forthcoming interview just will not go ahead. It's always got to be blue. So I'm sorry to break the magic there of the spell of these wonderful interviews. And, you know, sometimes you just got to see behind the curtain to see how the wizard works and the realities of interviewing some of the more difficult VC personalities. Anyway, welcome, Jack. Great to see you. How have you been?
Thank you so much, Ben. Thank you for having me on your video. Yeah, I've been good. Very good. I'm still waiting for my blue M&Ms, but thank you for coming to an agreement over Van the Man. We've managed to find, I think, a common ground, haven't we?
Yeah, it'll all go my way, I'd say.
We shall see.
And the blue M&Ms, by the way, are just for the host. So hopefully you got water at least in your green room.
Yeah, we've got water in Scotland. We've got plenty of that.
Good to hear. Okay, so if you're new to this is basically an interview. Is it an interview? Is it a quiz? Who knows, really? I call it an interview. You're awarded points for each question, depending on my opinion of the worthiness of the answer. Also, what was the other thing I was going to say? It's popped clean out of my head. Who cares? Mustn't have been important. So without further ado, you ready to rock?
Yep, ready to go. Fire away.
Right. Number one, justify your YouTube vinyl community existence for us. Why should we watch your channel and show a record that supports this?
So, yeah, I'm probably going to go down the Canadian route a little bit. I think I'm just a humble Scotsman. I've got a humble channel, I believe. And
well, with that intro, it shows nothing but humbleness on your channel.
So you're about to see the twist, because as much as I'm a humble person, I'm a music man and I enjoy music. And this is probably the album that best sums up my channel. It's dark. It can be dark. It is pretty sexy. It's dangerous. And
dangerous.
Yes. That's a dangerous cover. And it's also
watch where he wields his flute. It could be dangerous.
Oh yeah. And I do love a flute. I love flutes. So yeah, this is Herby Man's Push Push from, I think, sometime in the 70s. You can see it's a masculine album, but there's a softness there as well. You've got Dwayne Allman sessioning on this, gives it that bit of a southern rock feel. But yeah, this would kind of sum up my channel, I think. Really nice record. Are you a fan of this yourself, Ben?
I just know the cover.
Yeah.
That's all I know. I didn't know what Allman played on it though.
He plays on it. He plays on a number of the tracks. But yeah, it's a mix. It's kind of all different soul covers. It's quite soulful. It's quite funky. And I suppose for my channel, I like going down rabbit holes. And at the moment, I'm going down a psych rabbit hole. That's where all my money's going at the moment. But I like listening to other stuff as well, and that's what I like. I suppose one of the things I like about the VC, I like listening to other channels and getting ideas for other music. So yeah, I was in a bit of a flute phase about 3 months ago, and
we all go through one.
Yeah. So yeah, this was while I was in the middle of my flute fetish. So yeah,
there's a double entendre in there somewhere, but it's just not coming to me.
Yeah.
Well, I think that explanation. At first, I was not so much concerned about the point. As soon as I saw the cover, I was more concerned about like the subs just dropping off your channel after seeing that. So,
well, that's why I've not shown it. I've not shown it on my
check
channel
that after this, yeah. But come back hard with good flute talk, and I got to admit there is a bit of flute on some King Gizzard and the Lizard Wizard album, so I like getting my flute on every now and then. Nice.
Great flute in that one.
And I think also what put you over the line was, unlike Herbie, you chose to wear a shirt for this, and quite the shirt too. I'm enjoying that.
Yeah, the hibiscus.
So far, you're also the best dressed guest I've had.
Well, I did have. We spoke about this earlier. I had to raise my game because I'm normally quite scruffy, and obviously being on with the king of shirts, it was really important that I tried to. I had to raise my game. So yeah, hence the shirt. Yeah.
It's looking sharp, mate. And it's, I don't know what it means to be called the king of shirts, especially when you were christened that by MGK Boston. But anyway, I'll take it. I reckon that is a definite 1-pointer. Well done. I'll just lock that in. Question 2. Show a record that I like.
Oh, yes. Okay, so this was one of the hardest ones for me because a lot of the stuff that you show, I don't know. A lot of it's quite dark and mysterious, and a lot of the stuff I show is quite sunshiny and poppy. So it was hard for me. This was hard. So what I did was I made a Venn diagram. So I don't know if you can see this. We've got Ben's Gloomy Rock.
Angle. Yeah.
We've got Jack's Sunshine Pop.
And
in the sweet spot,
Happy Mondays.
We've got the Happy Mondays. Yeah. Can't go wrong with the Happy Mondays.
That is an excellent Venn diagram. You worked that out beautifully.
Yeah, well, yeah, I had to think outside the box. There was other things that sprung to mind, but for me, this is something that I knew you would like. It's got the funky bass lines. It's got the dark undertones, but at the same time, it's really upbeat, and it's an album that everyone can get behind.
Yeah, it's probably a band like Happy Mondays and even Stone Roses, because I probably come from more of a like indie rock side of things.
Yeah,
those bands were indie, but they also had the funk and the groove, like you say, and that was probably with unconsciously what got me into more electronic and dance music and things like that later on, because of, of course, Happy Mondays from Manchester, and the whole dance scene took off from there. And I was prime age back then too, so nice choice.
I would be the same. I was prime age for this. I was 14 when the Mondays and the Stone Roses and all that were coming through. So this was like such an important album for me. But see what you're talking about with the electronic music. This is a kind of rabbit hole that I'm starting to go down now. So probably in the last like 4 to 6 months, I've started to listen to more electronic stuff. So that's something that I'm looking forward to discovering more. But yeah, can't go wrong with the Mondays. And of course, can I show this on your channel?
Show anything on my channel. I know what you're going to show.
It's got the sexy inner as well.
Yeah.
That was for a 14-year-old. That was quite frightening, I thought.
Yes.
And I believe it was from a reader's. Was it from Reader's Wife? So it was from an edition of Reader's Wife. So it kind of shows the kind of grubby the urchins that the Mondays were in those days. But yeah, tremendous stuff.
And I think a good sense of humor as well.
Yeah. Well, I read a thing about them recently, and they said that was the only reason they did it. A lot of people thought it was for shock value, and they said not at all. It was only to have a laugh. That's the only reason.
Yeah. Totally. Doing well, mate. 2 for 2 in my book.
Oh yes, get in.
All right. Next one, number 3. What is the most unusual or funny thing? Oh, I'm reading the complete wrong question. We'll get to that one in a minute. It runs like a well-oiled machine, this show, as you can tell. What is the most unusual item that has been included with a record you own? It can be a legit part of the packaging or something that the previous owner left in there. And I'm sure you found some good stuff because you buy collections every now and then.
You would think so. And I've kind of failed on this one because it's not really overly interesting. So a lot of the things that I find when I buy collections, it's just really defaced inners. I've never really found anything really unusual. I found like a few tour programs and things like that. But,
That's good.
Nothing overly great. This one I like. I'm going to show this one. It's not unusual, but it's one that I like, and I'd imagine that you would like this as well. So I got the first 2 volumes of the Psychedelic Porn Crumpets, volume 1 and 2. Good Australian kind of heavy psych band. This is High Visceral Part 2. And the guy that I bought these off of, he used to live in Cambridge. So I found this inside. Again, not massively unusual, but I like it. So one of their early gigs in the UK.
Yeah.
Cool. Can you read that there? At the Bullingdon.
Yeah. Nice.
In Oxford. The Bullingdon, is that really upper class club that all the Tories go to? The Bullingdon Club?
Oh,
I've never even noticed that before. Yeah, I think it might be. It's kind of strange that the Psychedelic Porn Crumpets would play for a load of Tories. But,
that would be psychedelic in itself.
It would be, yeah. But yeah, I like that. I love this album, and it was a pleasant surprise to find that in it. I'm sorry I didn't have anything more interesting. I was hoping for, I don't know, something maybe cool or weird, but yeah, I couldn't really think of anything.
I reckon you just scraped through because you showed a good Australian band.
Good stuff.
There you go. I'm pretty lenient sometimes. Okay, what are we up to? Number 4. This is what I was about to ask you when I realized I stuffed up the order. Tell a story of the most unusual or funny thing that has happened at a gig you've attended or played. Now, I've seen your guitar playing, so you seem to be a gig-hardened trooper who's been there, done that, played and seen it all.
Yeah, so my music career ended.
You're going to pull out the guitar for a second then when your heart went down like that?
Am I going to pull out something? No, I've got a story. I've got a story of when I was 14, and the band that I played in were called Full Fathom 5. So it was like we were into the Stone Roses, we were into the Strawberry Alarm Clock and the Doors, and lots of psych type stuff. So I would have been about 15. I have to give you a background on this one guy. There was a guy in my school called David Bernard. His nickname was Bernie, and he would have been 3 years above me in school. And he had long hair. He wore a big Army Parker jacket, and across his Parker he had like the Stooges and the Doors and all these cool bands. And there was rumours that he could play the guitar with his teeth. That Bernie could play guitar with his teeth. He was like a Hendrix acolyte and wore Doc Martens, and he was just a cool guy. Everyone wanted to play guitar like him. So my band, Full Fathom 5, we played in a local hotel. It was an old Art Deco hotel called the Bay Hotel, and lots of local bands played in this hotel, and a lot of really cool 80s indie bands played in it, and all the rest of it. So it was a bit of a coming of age for your band if you played there. So we got a chance to play there, and during the day we were in the band room, and it was like lots of wrecked amplifiers and various band detritus just lying around the room. And as we were going through our sound check, I went to light a cigarette. I don't smoke anymore or anything, but I went to light a cigarette and I couldn't find a match. So I found a little matchbox, and when I opened this matchbox, I found some black substance in there. I can only imagine it was from Afghanistan or Morocco. And being a 15-year-old that really lacked common sense, the first thing I thought was, this is getting smoked straight away. This was like half an hour before we were due to go on stage. So I was like, bang, the whole lot gone. So we went on stage, and by this point, I don't know what your term for it is in Australia, but we would say in the west of Scotland that I'd hit a severe whitey. I was completely drained of colour. I felt absolutely sick as a dog, and I could barely see straight. So I went on stage, and I thought the best way is just to power through it. And, you know, I was massively, massively anxious. And I thought, I'm just going to power through this. So we went into our first song, which was like a kind of punky garage number. And it was like about eight quick strums of the guitar. And I went right for it. And when I went for the eighth one, I hadn't put my strap on properly. My guitar fell to the ground, and I fell onto my knees and tried to put my guitar up on. And it was one of these stages which it was basically like a riser where like the band played, and the crowd were like right up against you. So I was like right down on my knees at the front of the stage trying to hook up my guitar, and I just looked up, and Bernie was standing there right at the front, the guitar god. He's just giving me this look as if to say, what the hell are you doing, you idiot? And he was just like kind of shaking his head, like, looking at me. And yeah, the colour drained from my face even more. And I think I played the rest of the gig like that.
I thought you were almost going to save the day when you said you went down to your knees and you just like turned it into this dramatic thing. But
no.
Bernie stuffed it up for you, man.
No, Bernie was there. It was like the eye of Sauron looking down on me. Yeah. Just, it was...
I hadn't heard a whitey before, but you can just picture it. I love it. We would just be called it, you're absolutely munted. Definite points. Great story. I love hearing if it's a gig you've played as well. That's an awesome story.
I think probably every gig we played, I would have a fairly similar story. We didn't last long, and we didn't do well. So no, it was a bit of a shambolic band, to be honest.
I reckon as long as you get a few good stories at it, it's worth it.
Yeah, that's what it's all about.
Yeah. Yes, 4 points. A strong 4 in that one. That was a great story. Enjoyed that. Okay, now this is the question that's just going to get harder and harder as we go along. So be thankful you're in the early stages of this if this does have some kind of life thing. Show your favorite music-related fruit or vegetable that's not a banana.
This was an easy one for me. There was no question for this one. My joint favourite album of all time. Do you know what it is yet?
No, I'm drawing a blank, man. Oh, yes. We just brought them up before.
Yeah. Stone Roses debut with, of course, the Lemons. So this album cover is called Bye Bye Badman. It was one of John Squire's Jackson Pollock inspired pieces of art. And do you know the whole significance behind the Lemons?
I don't know.
So the band, Ian Brown and John Squire, were really interested in the whole Paris riots of 1968. I think when Ian Brown had been away touring Europe, he'd met some old French hippie who had been a part of the Paris riots, and he'd been telling them stories. And one of the stories he told them was he said that the protesters, to combat the CS gas, they used to suck on lemons. I don't know whether it's an urban myth or not, but they said that using lemons would help them to combat these effects. So there's that line in the song, what is it? Choke and smoke the air.
Yeah.
And like citrus sucking sunshine, I don't care. So it's like if you suck on the lemons, I don't care about what you kind of do to me. So that's why you've got the French tricolour there.
Yep.
And it's meant to be like a kind of active defiance, having active defiance against authority. And that was their idea behind the Lemons. So
great, cool.
Yeah, it's a cool album cover, isn't it?
Oh, fantastic! I really like all of his artwork, which had come out on the singles. And that it was really
it's
cool.
brilliant, isn't it?
Yeah, really good call, and one of my favorite albums of all time as
You
well.
were saying before with the Happy Mondays with that bit of funk and that bit of swagger, like Rennie just brings it on the drums. That's for me
Yeah,
what makes the album.
yeah, he's an
Rennie's
amazing
drum is
drummer.
phenomenal. Yeah.
Wow, that's possibly one of my favorites so far. Sam was pretty good, and I'm surprised no one pulled me up on the baked beans because if I don't know, I don't know, is a legume.
Oh yeah.
It's borderline, but
Is it a haricot bean? Is that the baked bean? Is that a haricot bean?
I don't know my beans as well as you, by
Yeah.
the sounds of it.
I have been brushing up on my beans since that video. I think it might be.
Sam will do that to you. It inspires the things you don't expect. Excellent. Okay. Now, number 6. This is I try and put different questions in so it's not all exactly the same. There's a few which are stock standards because I just like to hear people's responses. But this is a newish one. Show a novelty record, and why the hell do you have it?
Oh yeah. This was a good one. Had to think on this one for a little bit. I did have a Crankies record. Have you ever heard of the Crankies?
Don't know the
They were
Crankies, no.
very strange Scottish double act. They were actually married, but the woman pretended to be a little schoolboy. It's really weird. Google them. Google the Crankies.
Okay, I'm a bit scared too.
I couldn't find my Crankies record, so I found this instead. Black Lace. I Am the Music Man. Do you know this record?
I know the song I Am the Music Man, or am I thinking of, is that like I Am the Music Man?
That's the one.
Yeah, I do
And
know
I
that
can
song.
play. What can you play? I can play the piano.
I think I know why you've got it. I don't know.
Yes. Do you know why I've got it? Because there is a reason why I've got it.
Just that enthusiasm was what I thought.
Well, so that does fit into it. No, it's actually I've got this and I keep this. This is my warm up before I record a Vinyl Voyage video. So I go through you go through the whole range of emotions. You really get to express yourself. And I find it's a fantastic warm up. You've got the bagpipes, you've got the trombone, Dam Busters, the match of the day. So
How could that not fire you up? I suppose. Yeah.
Exactly.
Well,
it's just right in the right mindset where you need to be.
That is definitely a novelty album, and I don't know if anyone would fire themselves up that way before recording a video. That's amazing.
I think it's
great
different
work.
Maybe different techniques for different channels. Maybe I don't know what you do, Ben. What would you do to get yourself going before?
Just it just comes out of me.
Just natural.
Take that as you will. There's several answers of what is actually coming out of me probably, but anyway, we'll leave that alone. Okay, now we're into territory which is unknown to you with question 7. Listen to these band names: Jesus and Mary Chain, Teenage Fan Club, Belle and Sebastian, and Mogwai. Now, attach each of these terms to them: legends, overrated, underrated, and one that you have to wipe from the earth. And also take into account, if you wipe them from the earth, all the bands they influence wouldn't exist either.
Okay, so it's wipe them from the earth, overrated, underrated. What was the other one? Was that them?
Dead Set Legends.
Dead Set Legends. Okay, let me see. Dead Set Legends. Oh, that's hard. Oh, this is really hard. So I'm going to wipe Mogwai from the earth. I'm sure that you wouldn't like that.
Brave man. No,
yeah.
I just mean I do like them, but there's a lot of love out there for them.
Yeah, I know. But not so much from me. I do like them, but the other ones would mean a lot more to me. Legends, Teenage Fan Club. Overrated. Oh.
That's why I pick good bands. So it's tough.
Overrated. Jesus and Mary Chain. Underrated. Belle and Sebastian. And that's not to say that I dislike that. I like Belle and Sebastian more than Jesus and Mary Chain. Oh, that's hard. Yeah, Jesus and Mary Chain maybe slightly overrated. Belle and Sebastian maybe slightly underrated.
Yeah, doesn't have to mean you don't like them. It's just like
I can't go back to listening to them.
So yeah,
good.
That was intentionally to make you squirm. That one.
That was a good question, Ben. I like that.
Because there's none which you could just say are terrible, and so having to make that choice, So I think you did really well. All great bands, but yeah. Okay, this one's easy. Who is the most punchable singer?
Gary Glitter.
Yes. Whoa. Yes. You come out swinging hard. Yeah.
Boom.
There's no way I can disagree with that in any way, shape, or form. So points for sure. Great answer. Now, this is probably the most difficult question that we regularly get. Show a record.
I forgot about that question. Shall I just reach back and grab one? Oh, I never thought about this one. Let's see. I'll just grab anything.
Yeah. Okay.
That's a good record.
Was that one of the like 4 records you already had poking out a bit? So
no, not at all. Actually, honestly, I forgot about that question. That question wasn't in your. If we're going behind the scenes, behind the curtain, that wasn't one of the listed questions. I don't know if I feel as if I had enough room to maneuver with that one.
You get 6 listed questions.
That was it. That's
a good pull. That is a good pull.
Yeah. I'll go with my left hand instead if you want.
If you're feeling confident and want to show off.
Okay, let's see. From the left hand.
He's done it again.
Stones Volume 2. I've got just lots of classic rock in my collection. There's loads of stuff like that probably has been shown on the VC for hundreds of years.
Well, you could have pulled out a whole lot worse records just randomly, so well done. And the one that you chose to pull, interestingly, was I Am the Music Man. All right, number 10. Our favourite question by the VC legend that is Vinyl Richie. Say, hello, everybody, in Vinyl Richie style.
Okay. So this is the question I was fearing the most because I'm really, really bad at impersonating accents. And when I tried to do Vinyl Richies, I ended up sounding like Barney Rubble from the Flintstones. So what I started trying to
do if this helps with confidence, I've had a French guy do this.
Well, I kind of found it because it didn't work when I tried to impersonate Vinyl Richie because he sounded like Barney Rubble. I started trying to impersonate Barney Rubble, and it actually sounded like Vinyl Richie. So yeah, hello everybody. Hello everybody.
No, I cannot. Vinyl Richie would be all over me if I watched.
Wait. Can I redeem myself then? Is there an opportunity to redeem myself? So, because I knew I was so bad at this, I thought, I wondered if I could just maybe focus on my 5 favourite Vinyl Richie mannerisms. So, at number 5, I have the. At number 2, I've got I call this one the Preacher.
Yep.
At number 4, sorry. And number 3, I call this one the Venus Flytrap.
You've named the gestures.
Yeah, then there's this one. Oh, I love this one. That's the mind exploding. And then, well, the best one's the dismissive hand wave. That's my favourite. Oh, I'm so bad at accents. What can I say?
I really like how you just thought I'm gonna do something now.
What can I do?
Was great. That was great. I'll cop hell for this because I'm sure Von or Richie would be like a purist and say, no, that's not what you asked him. But I'm going to give you a point. So that was that was great. All right, now this is the wedge between us. This one, number 11. Apologize for liking Van Morrison, or celebrate with me your dislike of Van Morrison. Come join us.
We all knew it was coming to this point, didn't we? Right from the start. Everything that's happened before is irrelevant. It was always about this point. I can't apologise. I just can't. I could have easily picked out a Van Morrison album because I've got loads of his albums there. And yeah, I love Van, especially his classic years. He's just so good. But the whole question that actually I think you asked me if I would come on maybe about a week ago, and I've had sleepless nights about this moment, probably the last 7 days. And it got to the point where I started thinking that your hatred for Van Morrison runs so deep that I wondered if maybe the man doth protest too much. So I started looking on Australian websites to find out if this was Australian thing or if it was just a Ben Rankins thing. And can I show you something? Me. Can I show you something? Is it okay? I just want to go to the side a little bit. I'm going to show you what I found online.
The big reveal.
So I actually found this.
Yeah.
It says here, the Australian Van Morrison Show. Now you can see from the silhouette.
Oh my God.
Can you see that?
I have a feeling I know where you're going here.
Does that remind you of anybody? So when I found this image, what I did when I found this image was some people. So I've said on my channel that I'm a teacher, but prior to being a teacher, I was actually in British intelligence for 22 years, and I learned a particular set of skills, and one of them was imagery analysis. So when I had this, I don't know why it keeps doing that, because now you're seeing who is behind the image. There's basically, as an intelligence analyst, I learned some image manipulation, and I did manipulate this image, and I did manage to find. Can you see that? Okay.
Yeah, unfortunately.
You know, the truth is out there.
I'm just gonna say this is insulting and slanderous, and my people, well, my lawyers will talk to yours after this. I can't believe you've done that.
Come on again.
Oh, and one other thing I'm going to say is, fuck, I hate AI. All right.
Let's cover that up, Ben.
You clever bastard.
But to answer your question, I love Van. He's brilliant. He's great. What is there not to like?
Yeah, just all right. We get the idea. Just chill. Remember who's interviewing who now?
Okay. Yeah. Of course.
All right. Let's just try and get through that and move on. Number 12, a scenario. You find a record that is the highest thing on your want list, but it is crazy impossible to find. And this is the only chance you'll ever get to have this record. The catch is you have to trade something that you have that is incredibly valuable to you. What do you trade? It can be anything.
Something that I can trade for an album that I really
like. The greatest thing of all time. Doesn't matter if it's like rare or whatever. Just something that you thought you would never, ever, ever see. It's the impossible one.
You want me to say what I would like or what I would trade for it, or both?
You can do both if you like.
Okay. I would like I don't know. Maybe
Because I honestly think if you're willing to pay for it, you can pretty much get anything. Just depends.
maybe that first press of that Kaleidoscope album. I really like that. A mint condition version of that. I know what it would be. It would be maybe the Billy Nichols album. I really like that as well. A first press of that. What would I trade for it though? You know, that's worth thousands of pounds. The trade. My pride. Does it have to be something tangible?
It's your answer.
Yeah, but my pride. I don't need pride. Pride's a sin.
Well, we've all watched your channel, so we know you have no.
The proof's in the pudding. You've seen me.
Yes. Original, I like it. You're getting a point for that for sure. Well, out of the regular questions, you've scored 11 out of 12. Done very well. Now, this is the bonus question, and this is the one that separates the wheat from the chaff. Here we go. In what state is the longest stretch of straight road in Australia? And if you can tell me how long that stretch of road is in the metric system, I'll be impressed too.
It must be the middle state, the one in the middle.
The middle.
I don't know what the middle state is called.
That's what we call it, the middle state.
The middle state. I've taught Australia in school as well.
You've taught Australian school?
Yes, I've taught about the continent of Australia with our primary sevens. Predominantly, it was waterways, I think we were looking at. Your different rivers.
Roads here.
Yeah, I'm not a roads guy. I've never been a roads guy. Rivers, but not roads. The middle state. Is that Victoria? Is Victoria the middle state? Victoria?
I'm in the middle state. We're in the side state down the bottom on the right.
Yeah. You're the bottom right state, aren't you?
Yeah.
Victoria. I don't know. Queensland.
No.
Queensland.
No, you really
Alice Springs.
You're getting further and further away. And Alice Springs is a town. God knows what you were teaching them kids.
No.
All right.
I just speak words. Just say things, random things.
It is in Western Australia, which is Perth is in Western Australia, and it's called the Air Highway, and it goes straight for 146.6 kilometers.
Wow.
Completely straight, no bends or curves.
Wow.
And I've been on that because it's when you go across the Nullarbor. And let me tell you, it's not like the other roads are all like this either. So, yeah. And I think it's, if I got this right, it's one of the last, just before it, there's like a sign for it. And the servo there is like, this is the last place you can get fuel for 150 odd kilometers. So they can charge what they want. And there's more of a queue there than at a city servo. So
does that go through? Is that through small towns?
It's through nothing. It's like desert. Yeah.
I watched a film. I'm sure you'll have seen it. I think it's a famous Australian film. And it makes me think of those kind of maybe little towns. It was called Wake and Fright.
Oh, yeah.
That's amazing film. Yeah.
Everybody gets stuck in the yabba in that.
That's at the yabba. Yeah.
All right. We better get out of here because we've just clocked in the longest video so far with these interviews. But thank you so much, Jack. It's been a pleasure.
Thank you so much for having me on, Ben.
I feel like I was a bit set up in a few bits there, which, that's supposed to be my job, I thought. But good on you.
What I can maybe say for future, maybe you gave me quite a lot of details to work with, and maybe you could give me less room to maneuver.
Yeah. From here on in, people, I'm a closed book.
That's it.
I'll leave Jack's details below. Link to his channel. Sub him if you haven't already. Get him to 1 million subs. Great stuff. If you love your psych, That's the voyage you want to go on. Thanks again, Jack, and we'll see you all in the next one.